Hello guys, are we yeah, yes we are, obviously. Um just give me a moment, let me get access CPF form. Hi. So I have host access now. So let's dive straight in. Kindly inform others to join in so they don't miss out. So today will be like I said yesterday, we'll be doing practical stuffs. So we'll be building a project today, a small project. So I don't want us to like rush into things. So we'll be building a small project. Then from there we'll advance into bigger stuff. So today's aim is just to make us get comfortable with React, and let's just find our way around React, basically how to render components, how to do basic stuff with React. So after achieving that, then we can now go on to treat um other part of it. Just hold on. Bit. Man.
Mr. Abdul, are you there?
Yeah, I just wanted to sort something out quickly. I've done that now. So we'll begin. So I'll share my screen now, and you guys will walk with me. Before I do that, can you guys hear me clearly? Can be confirm you
Yes,
can.
you can.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. So I'll go on to share my screen. Share my screen. Yep. So for today's project, we'll be building this website. So I got this from Frontend Mentor, and we have the Figma. So this is a premium project. So in case you're unable to download it, don't feel sad. But what will happen is I would give us the Figma link, and I'll also teach us how to interact with Figma. So this is like a two-in-one class: how to use Figma to achieve certain things, and also how to implement it with React. So let's first off go on and check the um, website. So this is what we are supposed to build. This is like a portfolio. You can edit this to suit your need. Maybe if you want to start looking for a job, you can edit this, put your name here, put your picture here, then edit the link also. But for now, let's work with what we have. So we basically have this header, the name, the logos. We also have this particular picture here. So we have the individual, this nice to meet you. We also have this small ring thing going on here. Then we have contact me. We also have this particular something on going on here. Then we have another section. This section basically shows the proficiency of the tools they use. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, accessibility, React, and SAS. And we also have this ring thing going on here. What else? We have the project. So these are projects that they've worked on. It's a design portfolio, e-learning land page, to-do web, entertainment web app, memory game. So we have this section also. Then we also have the contact page with like a footer kind of thing happening here. So this is basically, I also have like an active state and like what happens if you try to fill in an invalid email. So for this, we'll be using a package for this called uPanformic. So you guys would like have like a glimpse of how to use packages also for React. And this is it basically. So it's on tablets and also on mobile. I'll leave the responsiveness to you guys. I'll just treat the desktop view. So this is the style guide. Remember I said that for every real life situations, yeah, you have style guide. So style guide basically is like your color, your typography, your headings, and how it is when you try to interact with elements. So there's this line thing happening here. If you try and hover on your button, it changes color to greenish stuff here. You also have like if the button is idle, this is what you have here. So basically it, I think this is what we have to do. So let's see how far we can go today. Don't practically need to cover everything like in the next an hour, 30 minutes. All we just need to do is to get comfortable. Tomorrow, hopefully, if we can't finish off today, then we'll finish off tomorrow. Then jump off to the next aspect of React. So now this is like fresh stuff. I'm not doing anything from prior. So for you to start a React app or for you to create a React app, you can do it in two ways. So let's go back to our browser here. So I'll open a new tab here. So you can use create React app. That's the CRA. Let's do create React app. So if you come here to do create React app, what you see basically is this is like the documentation for the React documentation itself. So if you come to docs, to tell you how to install the app. So you can do npx create React app, then my app. So if you do this, what happens is it creates a React folder for you where you have basically everything you need to as per folder. But there are two ways of doing this. You can also use Vite, and I'll tell you which I'm using and why I'm using it. So for Vite, basically, Vite is also a means to create React app. But why this is preferable to create React app is that for using Vite is much faster and it only brings in folders or node modules that you need. So create React app is usually heavier unless they optimize it. But for Vite is highly optimized. The speed is very great, and like what you need to do basically is that it slows down build process. If you also want to like move to production, you want to compile your code, it compiles very fast. That's for Vite. But for create React app, you just get the basic settings, and everything's kind of slow and not that fast. It's fast to some extent, but not that fast. So for this project, this is just the difference, and you can use this to create your React app. There's no crime in it. But ordinarily, or if you want to work with speed, yeah, I would suggest you use Vite. So for Vite, you just go to get started. This is like the documentation. If you can read through, if you want to read through. And it will also show you how to install. So if you want to install Vite, you have to basically just run this command, npm create Vite at latest. For React, it's npx create React app. Then you put this particular. So this particular line here is the folder name. So if you name this Adama or you name this whatever, it becomes the folder name. So let's try and practicalize it now. So like I said, I'm using Vite, and I explained why I'm using Vite just because of the speed, basically. So I'll use Vite for this. So in doing this, you can come to your terminal. Yeah. So now this is my home page, and I can just come to, let's say, let me go to my workspace, and let's go to Zuri. So I'm coming to where I need to create the app. I'm coming to Zuri here. So you can open a new folder here. So let's name the folder new folder, and let's name the folder portfolio. Portfolio. Yep. So this is the name of our folder. Now I'll illustrate to us in two ways how we can do this. So we can either open our terminal here. So I have this. So I'll just open my terminal here. If I open my terminal here, let's scroll down a bit and see, wait for the terminal to open. So this is my terminal here. Yeah. And if you check the route is on desktop, my workspace, then on Zuri. So I'm on Zuri now. So if I press LS, I'm supposed to get the list of all the folders here, basically. So if I want to create, like without opening a folder here, if I want to just create the app directly, I can come here. Let's come here and let's copy this. So if I copy this particular command and I paste it here, all I need to do now, after the space, all I need to do is say portfolio. portfolio. So what happens is it creates a folder, a React folder called portfolio. That's what happens if I run this app. But if I do this basically now, let's say if I do this without the extra line, what it automatically means is it wants to convert the folder to a React app. But that's not what we're trying to do. You understand? So you have to be careful. Like you can do this in two ways. If you are using a folder like this now, I mean Zurich folder, and I have list of, let me move this down. I have list of plenty folder here that I use basically. So if I want to create like a portfolio, I can just come here. I have two portfolios here. Let me see.
Please, your
Let me
voice,
just
sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is reducing. I don't know
my voice
whether it's just
my
from
voice
my
is
end.
reducing.
Volume.
My voice is reducing.
As in, your
No,
voice
no,
is
no, no.
getting lower. Like I cannot get you anymore. I was getting you before.
Is it the same for everybody?
That's what I want to know.
It's okay, my end. It's consistent on my end.
Okay. So let's go on. So I was saying, yes, so I'm on this folder now, this Zurich folder, and I have plenty folders here. So if I run this command like this without adding the extra line, which is portfolio, it tells me to convert all this to React app. So what happens automatically is that you have to delete every folder here to make this a React app, but that's not the case. So what I want to do now, I want to make let's check the name. Let's check the name. The name is a single page developer portfolio. So let's do it. Let's put developer port. So with this now, what happened is let's press enter. Once you press enter now, this command runs on your terminal and it creates a React folder called developer port. Now I'll illustrate this in two ways, but just work with me. So what I want to do now, I want to create a React app. So navigate down to React, we press enter. So if you press enter, you have our 5 options. You have TypeScript, plus other packages, you have JavaScript, JavaScript other packages. But now we're just focusing on JavaScript only because we've not touched TypeScript. My go-to ordinary is TypeScript, but for the sake of that we are beginners, I'm also a beginner. So we're just using JavaScript. So for this particular project, we'll choose JavaScript. You press enter. So what happened now is that it created a folder called developer port. So if you come here now, you can see, let's check our developer port. So we didn't come here and create like a folder manually, just did it with our terminal. So what it's asking us to do now is that we should cd into developer port. Cd means change directory. So if I press cd and developer port, I'm now in developer port. What next would I do? The next command now is to run npm install. So we do npm install. You can type it full like this, or you can just do npm I. So it does the same thing. You can do npm I or npm install. So anyone you do works the same. So let's install. So this npm install, what it does now is basically is that it's installing everything we need to run a React app. So it's what they call node modules. So node modules is so I'll explain it to you guys once I open the app. Node modules contains different folders, different type of folders. So node modules is more like the powerhouse or what powers your React app, because without a node module, most things on your app won't work. So node modules is where your packages, because React also is a package itself. You can install React manually. It's also a package itself. So node modules is where your package like powers your package. So there's a folder, and I'll open it for us once I finish. There's a folder, different type of folder. Like on a normal day, your node modules can even like weigh up to 1 gig. I have projects that are very, very big projects, and if you check the size for your node modules, can go as high as 1 gig, and you can see like hundreds of thousands of files inside. That's why if they're asking you, they say don't put your node modules to GitHub. It's a beginner's mistake to push your node modules to GitHub. Aside the fact that it exposes your app, but it's not advisable to do that. So now that we've installed our packages and everything, as you can see, added 278 packages and audited 279 packages in 55 seconds. So what we'll do now is we need to open this with VS Code. So you can just come and do code. But this is a shortcut. So if you press enter, what happens is it automatically opens a VS Code app for you. So this basically now is our React folder. So this is the node modules I was talking about. And as you can see, we have different type of folders here. Different type of folders here. These folders, everything you can see here contributes to how our app works. You can see for each. This for each now contributes to our looping. Like everything you need basically is embedded here. And without these node modules, you can't successfully run your React app. It's practically impossible. If you come here, you can see React DOM, you can see React. So React has its own folder. React DOM also has its own folder. So everything you need or everything that needs to make your app run is embedded in these node modules. So if you delete your node modules and you want to run your React app, basically have issues. So this is like one of the most important folder, not one of the most important. It's basically the most important folder in your React app, and followed by your SRC. Do you understand? So now I explained yesterday that our public folder on normal case, you can house your SVGs here, you can house your images, your videos, you can have everything here. Then for SRC is where we have our assets and our other components. But for now, this is like a template for a React app. Do you understand? If you have any questions up to this point, let me know, please. If you have any questions up to this point, can let me know.
Please, I have a question.
Yes, go on.
The first one is, you said there are two ways we can run React on.
Yes,
Yes. The first way you said we just put npm create React app, right? Okay.
MPX, MPX
Create,
create React app.
okay, npx, okay, create
Yes.
React app. Then you
Then
now
you
put the
put
name of the
your
folder.
exactly.
Okay, okay. Then the second question I had was, you said public. That public is where you keep your images, videos. I don't get it well.
Okay, so I'll use next now for example here because in our case now we are using React. We have our assets folder. This assets folder for this particular case will house all our images, our SVGs. But for the public, yeah, you can also put your images here. Do you understand? So for in React case and in Vite case, they how the app run is that it doesn't read the public folder basically. So if you add your image here, it will tell you to move it to your SRC. Do you understand? But what the public folder does basically is you can keep your images here. You can also keep your videos, like your assets basically. But it's in two forms. For React now that we are doing, we'll be using the assets folder for that. But in Next.js, public folder is where you keep your assets also. Do you understand? So it works in two ways. You can keep your assets in your public folder. You can also keep it in the assets inside your SRC. But we are doing React now here. So every asset we need will be in our SRC here. Exactly.
Okay, you said that I got the second, but you said the first part that if you put it in public folder, then you
Yes.
use it. When do you use it?
In Next.js. So
Okay,
Next.js is
okay, yes, okay,
yeah.
I got it. Thank you very much. It's
No
clear.
issues, no issues, no issues. So for this now, we have this is our template. Any more questions before I start?
Yes,
Before
so
I
I have a
continue?
question here. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So I've been like watching you like installing the React there, but I think yeah, like you are using a MacBook
No, I'm not using a
and
MacBook. I'm using Windows.
okay, Windows. So if it's look like it's not like Windows because if I try like to open like my CMD, my command prompt here, am I supposed
Yes.
to use the same like code you are using here and to give me like the same output or to be like different? Because I've not like started like to install the React in my PC. I want to follow before like doing that.
Okay. So have you installed Node before? Okay. Yes. Let's do that
Yes,
then.
yeah, yes.
You
I've
have
already
Node.
like
You have Node.
yeah, yes,
You have Git also. Do you have Git? Do you install Git?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Then you have no worries because once you're using npm or npx, it's basically like a Node command. So you understand it basically. Do you understand? So you can run it on your command line and it works perfectly. But
Uh,
what I'm using a terminal called Hyper. So it's just preference. Like I said, every developer has what they prefer. Normally, some people can go to the power line and PowerShell, yeah, and run what they want to run. So also can use VS Code basically to do what they want to do. So you can come on here and also did what I did here. So you can come and open your um folder here, then run the command. It works well perfectly. Okay, for now, I'll illustrate that to us now. So this is my terminal ordinarily. So I'm using VS Code now to continue. So if I come here and say npm run dev, and mind you, this command is coming from here. As you can see, it gives us 3 ports. First cd into ports, then install mode. So we've done 1, we've done 2. The next line now is to npm run dev. So what npm run dev does is to start your React app. Do you understand? So if I hit enter now, what happens is it spin off like this app. Unlike what's the name? It is like live server. Let's put it like that, because if you're doing index.html, then you have to like click on live server for you to see what you're doing. So this also like a replica, but you need like a command to run it. Do you understand? And the command is npm run dev. And this is it depends on what you're doing. So you're using create React app, it's npm start, you get the same solution, or you get the same result. But for Vite, basically, it's npm run dev. So now this is our let's open our port. So this is our port now. Our port is localhost 5173, and this is everything to it, basically. So this is like the template file. So any Vite app you create, or any Vite folder you create, this is like a template you'd see. So this is just we'll clean this up, but it's like just the template file. So now let's explain, and I think our tutor has already done that for you, Mr. Toby, but I'll do that again here. So we have, as you can see, we have the main.jsx, we have the index.css, we have the app.jxs, and we have this app.css. So the CSS file are responsible for styling. Now the main is more or less like the contact page for our app. So now let me break it down to us. So if you check here, we have our index.html. Yeah, our index.html has this div of roots, yeah, and also have our script tag here. So the script tag is basically what's pointing to our main.jsx. And this is like what we see normally in our like HTML file. We are very familiar with this. Do you understand? So what happens now is that what we are seeing here is basically HTML file. Do you understand? What we are seeing here now is HTML file. But what React does is this root is taking this particular div you are seeing here, is taking it, then bringing it inside your main. Do you understand? So what's happening now is that it's saying React DOM. So this React DOM now is what is in charge, or is responsible for splitting our code in the React quote unquote React format. Is this React DOM? Do you understand? So what is doing now is, okay, React DOM dot create roots. Yeah. So we are taking our roots in the index.html, and we are converting it to React. Do you understand? So what is happening here in our main is that we have our roots ID now in our index.html. Then we are picking that particular root. We are saying document.get ID, and we are doing what's the roots basically. So React DOM is what's creating a root with our roots in the index.html. Then is what is making a React app out of it. So this app now, where it comes in is this our app.js, and this is it here. So it picks everything in this place, and it injects it here. So everything you are seeing here now in between this React.street mode is our React app. Do you understand? So what's happening now is this our main now is like the injection portal for our React app. Yes, it picks our index.html, then it converts it to a React app, selecting that particular div. So what happens eventually is, and let's inspect. Let's go to our browser and let's inspect. This is our browser here. So let's come to elements, and let's go to this is our body. So you can see our div here. We have what? A div of what? Root. But if you note, here, there's nothing inside here. It's empty. It's an empty line of code. We also have our ID, and there's nothing inside. But if you check here now, if I open, let me open and close. So this is it closed. Let me open it. As you can see, we have another div. And this div is carrying what? We have our href, also a href. We also have Vite plus React. And where is this coming from? This is coming from what? Our app.jsx. So this is the tag you saw now. And this is the tag you saw also. This H1, let me change it to, let's do it Sasu plus Divine. What happens now is that if we go back to our code and we see, we are seeing what Sasu plus Divine. But in the real sense, our HTML file is very empty. Do you understand? But what, like I explained, what happens is that our root now has been converted to what? A React app. So everything that happens on that app folder is now being injected in our DOM. Now you can see that React.what DOM is injecting into our DOM. So now we have this particular tags everywhere. So anything that happens here now in our app, everything comes back to what? Our app component. And our app component can receive everything. Every freaking thing you are doing here comes down to what? To this place. So for the sake of this class, we'll clear everything and we'll start from afresh. So it's like how we create our normal. So let me just clean everything here. Let me clean everything here. No, let me not do that. Let me just wipe it clean here. So I'll do this and I'll remove all this here. And I'll remove our accounts. I'll remove all this because we're not using it. So our app is clean now. We're just importing our class of CSS, which is this one. We'll also remove everything. Let's remove everything here. Let's remove everything here also. And let's go back to our app. So we have an M. So let's just put let's put H1. And let's say hello world. And let's save. So let's go back and we can see what hello world. So this is the beginning of our React app now. So we have to convert this plain white sheet to this particular design. So that's what we are tasked with now. So your employer is saying, okay, there's this portfolio a client need. Kindly use React to run it sharp. You say, okay. So what's the process of converting this white blank page to this particular stuff? So let's start from the top. Now we have this, like I said, we need to pick out our styles first off, because I mean we need the fonts, we also need the colors. Our colors are already here already, so we need the fonts. So for the font now, they're using space growth key. So for this now, we'll just go to what's the name? Google Fonts. So let's go to Google Fonts. Google Fonts. Let's click on Google Fonts. Let's browse fonts and let's search for it. So let's search for space. Yes, use it. So can somebody direct me how we are going to get this particular font? Somebody, I've forgotten. I don't remember anymore.
Just click on get fonts. Click on get fonts.
Click on get fonts. Okay, I've clicked on it. What do I do next?
Click on get
Get
embed
embed.
code.
Okay, what do I do next?
You'd, if you
Go to
want to
import.
use your CSS, you'd click on this import checkbox here.
Okay, what do I do next?
Then you can copy the code and paste it wherever you want.
Copy the code.
Your
Okay, copy the code. Copy the code and paste it wherever I want. So I want to put it in my app.js. But I'm getting error. Why?
because it's in your app.js.
So what do I need to do now?
Okay, you're supposed to remove the styling, remove the style tag.
I was following. You said I should copy the code, and I did that.
No, like don't copy the complete. Obviously, the import changes.
Okay, so yeah, basically, I just wanted to test you guys if you guys like remember what we did last time. So perfectly, if you want to get your code from fonts, Google Fonts, follow the procedure. You just copy this import statement, then you paste it in your app.js. Then we need to do another thing again. You can remind me what we need to do. We need to do one more thing.
CSS reset.
Yes, global reset. Like I said, if before you start anything, you need to do your global reset. And I'll tell you why. So if you come to your app now and you can see that we have like this space going on here, which we don't want. It's not supposed to be. So what we'll do now is just come and reset everything globally. So all the elementary tags should have 1 star. So we'll do margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing, border box. Perfect. So everything is okay now. Nice. So what we need to do next is come to our body, and we'll say font family. We'll do space, then we'll come here for our fallback, we'll say sans serif. So this should be correct. Let's see. Yes, it changes. So this is correct now. So what next we need to do is to now, so we are done with our style basically. So we need now to inspect what we're trying to do. So as you can see here, our body has like a single color. Everything is black except the contact stroke footer, but the rest of the page is black. So we can as well put our body as black. I'm guessing we can do that here. So we have our colors here. So we'll pick our colors one by one. So for the body, it's a particular color. And if you check and you come here, you can see the content. So Figma, let's do a quick tutorial on Figma. So Figma basically is where designers work and give developers, and where developers get an interface to replicate. So as you can see, there are different items here on Figma, and you might not see this when you clone or when you run your Figma link. I'm using a paid Figma, so I have like pro access. That's why I can see this particular layout. But if you're not using a pro access, this is what you might likely see. Yeah. So this is what you likely see. You see the design stuff here. If the designer does not gives you edit access, so you get to see all this. Do you understand? But somebody mic is can you mute your mic, please? So now that I have this particular this is like a code, it's like a cheat. It makes coding faster. So now let's go back and check. So we have our color here, and we have our color to be black. So can I just come here and copy the color? Easy peasy. Then we'll come to our code and say we want the background color to be this. Perfect. So we'll come back here and check. Yes, we are getting there. So we have one thing set now. So what I would suggest we do now, since we have our body color set, let's now go back to our code. So first off now, let's talk about our folder structure. So as you can see now, we have our header. We also have what? A hero section. Then we also have this, let's say, what should we call this? Your skills, let's say skills, let's call it skills. We have a project and we also have a contact. So what this means is that we need to break our code into the header, the hero, the skills, the project, and the contact with the footer. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing. Or do you guys see any extra section, or we are good to go? I think we are good to go. So now that we have that in place, so what we need to do now is to go back to our SRC. So our SRC, we already have our assets. But if you don't have your assets folder, you can create an asset folder and keep all your images here. The next thing we need to create is our component. So you can just come here and say component. Yes, component. Then we also need a layout. So a layout is where we keep our header layout. Then let's say we need a page. So a page is like where, if for instance you have like multiple pages, then all the files come here. So let's put page here. So we have 3 folder. We have let me change it to pages. Yes. So we have the assets, we have the components, we have the layout, and we have the pages. So the pages basically houses like every page on your website. So if you have 10 pages, then you can keep your 10 pages here. Do you understand? But this is a single page website, so we just leave it at that. Once we start building projects with multiple pages, then we'll talk about that. So for our component now, let's have layers. For our layers, we need like a header folder. So let's create a folder called header. We also need a footer. So let's come here and create a folder called footer. So we've achieved two things now. We've gotten our header and our footer, basically. So the next thing to do is to go to our component now, and let's create our hero. So folder, we'll create hero folder. Then we also need our skills folder. We also need our projects folder. Then we also need our contact us. So let's do contact folder. Contact. Yeah, perfect. So we have 4 folders now, and those 4 folders are just these sections splitted into bits, because that's like the aim of React, to split your code into bits so you can interact with them piece by piece. So we've done that, and
How about the
that's
footer, the
all.
footer section?
Yeah, we've done the physical footer here, see the header here. So that's our layout, and the rest are in our component. So now let's start. So let's start from the header, because the header is first. Now we have our header here, and we have this name, also have these icons. So, but we need to move the icons, because on a normal case, we can't start downloading these icons from wherever. So what you do now is, if you click on an icon here, yeah, you have options. You have the SVG options. So you copy the SVG, and I'll tell you why you should use SVG. So SVG are there's like different formats. You have the PNG, you have the JPG, yes, JPEG. You also have the SVG. Why it's preferable to use SVG is that if you're using SVG, now note this particular icon is SVG. If you zoom in, as you can see these tiny boxes here as you zoom in. Yeah, these are these like the vectors that makes, like, the combination of all these makes up this particular SVG you are seeing. So there are small boxes. All these boxes aligned together makes like this, and this is the code responsible for all these boxes. So if I copy this particular SVG code now and paste it in our app, we're going to get this particular stuff. It's highly scalable. So no matter how zoomed in your project is, it retains the quality. Because if you note, in some app, you can go there and the pictures are not clear. They are blurry. But with SVG, regardless, it maintains that quality. So it's preferable you use your icons and your images as SVG. Only in few cases that you might need to use PNG. Yeah. And even at that, you can also go and convert, because some PNG might be as high as 5 MB and 6 MB and 7 MB. And that's where performance comes in. Because if you're using like 6 MB image and you have like 7 on your website, imagine spending like more than 30 MB just to open your website. With Nigeria network, a user might just stay there for about 2 minutes, and he doesn't know that it's because of the image that the website is taking slow to load. So you can also convert your images to a P. We'll talk about those ones later, but I'm just giving you guys tips on how to handle images in React. So now we have our SVG. So what we can do now, if you come down here, you can see the export here. So you press export, it asks you what format. Do you want it times 2 bigger? So you can come here and increase like the size times 2, times 3, whatnot, but we'll keep it at our normal size. Then you can come here and choose, do you want JPG, SVG, or PDF? So we're working with SVG, so we'll click on it. So you export it. So we'll name our export, we'll name it, first off, it's open like your Explorer for you. So let's navigate to where we're working. Workspace, Zuri. Let's navigate to Dev Portfolio, I think, yes. Let's navigate to SRC. Let's navigate to assets. So this is where our stuff will be. So let's keep this, let's do it GitHub. So we have GitHub. Let's come back here and do the same thing. Let's click on it. Let's click on it. Hold on, let's see. LinkedIn. You have Twitter here. So I'm trying to, you can also use this path to select. So done for GitHub. So let's come here and select what's the name? Front-end mentor. This is the icon for front-end mentor. Let's see. It's not selecting. Just hold on a bit. Let's see. Let me click out and come back here. Observe. I'm supposed to select all. Hold. Let's see. Let me move it from developers mode. And let's try and select it again. So let's see. Let's come here. Let's come here. So don't forget to let's do for LinkedIn. So click on LinkedIn. Yes, we have our LinkedIn here. So let's come back here to export. So you can preview it to see what you're exporting. This is it here. So you can come here and let's change it to front end mentor. Front end. Let's leave front end. You can also click your LinkedIn. Then let's do LinkedIn. But let's do small letter L. Then let's come here and do Twitter. So what we've done now is we've selected the icons that we'll be needing. So let's just do Twitter here and press enter. So what we've done now is selected these 5 icons. We'll come back to this one, or let's just do it now. So let's select this one also. So we have this man picture. This is the man here. So let's convert it to SVG and let's put it hero image. Let's say hero image. Yep. And we also need this cycle here. So let's click on it and let's SVG over. Let's leave it over, but let's put it small letter O. This is like the hardest part in doing this, because if your assets are not in one place, then there's an issue. They also have this circular thing going on here. So let's come back here. Let's export SVG. Then let's put it, let's say cycles, and let's do cycle 1, because we have more than one cycle. Let's do cycle 1 here. So now we've gotten everything we need for our header and our hero. So let's do that first and let's see what's left. So now you know how to export images to your Explorer. So let's come back here and check our assets. You can see everything we've done. So if you click on React, SVG, you can see it here. If you click on Twitter, you can see it here. If you click on the hero, you can see it here. So these are the code that is responsible to display this. And if you zoom in, it still maintains the quality. It does not lose quality if you are zooming in. If you also zoom out, it does not lose quality. That's why SVG is like preferable than PNG and other stuff. So now we've gotten that. So what do we need to do now? Let's come to our header. So let's go to our layout. So we have our header here now. I will need to open 2 files here. Our first file is, now note, I'm putting header.gsx. Now, this is relative. Do you understand? But if you're working React app, it's best you put this X at the back. So X is what differentiates normal JavaScript file and a normal React file. Do you understand? So it's essentially you use this X at the back. If you TypeScript, you do TSX. So it's a React TypeScript file. If you do this, it's just a React TypeScript file. If you do JS, it's just a JavaScript file. Like we have our app.js, script.js. But once you put X, it's telling the browser that this particular file is a React file. So let's go back to our header.jsx. Now that we have this now, we have a blank file. And I said, what this is basically is just a function that returns HTML. And how do we create functions ordinarily? We can do const what header is equals to this. Then we do this. We have our return statement here. What are we returning? We're returning just header. Let's put header here. Remember, it's very essential you use semantics if you're also coding. You have to put it in check. This is all you need basically, but also need one thing. Who can tell me what we need? I explained that to us yesterday.
You need to import.
Export and
You have
import.
to export it.
Basically. So we need to tell, okay, there's a header, but we need to take it outside our React app so they will see it. So you do what? Export default. Then you put the name header. So now our app is clean. This is everything you need basically to do it. So there's a shortcut for this. You can just do RAFC and it gives you this like automatically instead of doing the long cut. To get that shortcut, come to your extension, then do hold on, let's see. Then you just type React. I think let's see React. Yes, look at it here. ES7 plus. So this particular extension is responsible for this snippet here. Do you understand? So if you go to your extension, you can just type in this and you get that. So now that we have our stuff, let's you can also remove this. It's not needed. Only when you want to use like states, then we have to import this. But for now, we all know that this is a React app. So you don't need to import React anymore. So you can just remove this app now. So we have like our React folder header. Well, let's go back to our browser and see what we have. Let's go to our browser. As you can see, we just have only the yellow word. Hey, I'm talking my phone. We only have the yellow word here. We don't have our header, which is not supposed to be because we already have a header with what this. So all we need to do now is how we structure our code. Like I said, we have a page folder. And this is our page folder. Let's create a file and let's name the file what? Home.jsx. So this home.jsx basically is where all our components for our home page goes inside. Do you understand? So what we'll do now is, mind there are different ways to do this, especially when you're dealing with a page, like a website that has multiple layouts. Do you understand? Because like what I showed you guys yesterday,
Sorry,
the
please, I want to
website is
ask a question.
okay, go on, ask a question.
Your voice was like really low at some point. Why are you deleting that import React from React?
So you can leave it, there's no harm in it, basically. You can leave it. But I'm saying now that this file also, we are not using the keyword React here. So let's say for instance, we want to create a state, and this is just like an illustration. So I can come and say use state. Let's say use state. Yeah. And I don't want to use this particular import. So you can do React now. You can say React dot. If you do dot now, there are many properties that you can use on that React. So there's the use state, you can look at use state here. Do you understand? So in this case now, you might need to put this particular React keyword. But as it stands, we don't need it because we're not using React to do anything. Do you understand? So you can as well leave it, there's no crime in it. But just to keep your code clean, just remove it because we're not using the keyword React here. So automatically, because this JSX, this particular files already understand that this is a React file. But if you're using JS now, then you can still include the React there. Then if you want to use like a properties or a property under React, then you do React dot, then you get all those properties. But for now, we don't need that. So you can just keep your code clean and remove it. Is that right? Is that clear?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
So now we have our home folder. Like I said, this is where our files, our components that makes up our home folder are going. So we can come here and just press header. So what we've done now is that we've imported header from the layout component. As you can see, automatically it's imported it for me. You can also use an extension for that. I think it's auto import. So let's check auto import. So if you do auto imports, yes, here's it. So automatically it imports your files for you. So you don't need to come and start doing import header from dash dash dash. No, you can just come and type the header. So I'll remove this and let's illustrate it again. So I'll come here and just do header. So I get suggestions. If I just click on it, it imports for me automatically. So you can use this extension for it. So back to our code. Now I've imported header, yeah, but I need to tell our browser that use this particular home because what is running now is just this hello world that is running. Do you understand? So we'll come here and do what we need to do. We'll import our home here. We import home. And if you check our browser now, let's see. Yes, we have our header here. So our header is stated here now. So this is working basically. So in your app folder, your app file rather, you are importing your home. And in your home, you are importing every component that needs to make up this particular page. Do you understand? Now that we've done this and we have our header in place, let's go on to style it. Now, styling, like I mentioned yesterday, is extremely dicey if you're using React. So I'll explain to us now. So we have two ways to use, like if you're using normal CSS, which you're using for this app. So I can come here and put header. Let's do header dot CSS. Now this is like just normal CSS file like we create normally. Then you can come here. So for this particular file to have access, you have to import it. So everything you are doing basically, you have to keep importing. But note, you're not exporting our CSS code. You don't need to export it because it's CSS file. But for this part now, you can just come here and do what? Import. Then just do dash this and it brings your CSS. Do you understand? So let's change this to a header for accessibility sake. Then let's do H1 and let's see, let's copy this name. So you can just come here. If you click on the name, you can see the name Adam Keys. So I can press Ctrl C, I've copied it. Ctrl V, I've pasted it here. So now let's come to our what's the name? Our header.css and say H1. And let's just do color white because the color is white. White. So if you come to our as you can see, Adam Keys, white, perfect. Do you understand? Now, where the issue is basically is now that this particular H1, if we have another H1 in our app, yeah, and let's say that H1 wants the color to be black or pink or yellow, if we also put H1, it basically affects this. Do you understand? Because what? It's not generic, it's exposed to the whole app. So to key it inside that, okay, any style that's happening here, I want it to only affect this particular file. We introduce the module.css. So what happens with the .module.css is any style I'm going to put here now, it doesn't spill over, it doesn't affect any other file or folder on this app. It's only attached to this. Now, it's dicey. Do you understand? So let's go back and see. It's still white here, but what we need to do now is here, for it to take effect. Now, I'll come back and now let's inspect this. Let's inspect it. So you can see that it's just like basic H1, then star, and if you check it, there's no class name to it. Yeah. So what happens is it targets all the H1 and gives them the color of white. But to make this module work, what we need to do now is to change the way we are importing. So we're going to import it as, you can use, there are two different ways that I've seen developers use. You can either use import classes from this. Now that you've done this, what you need to come and do here is to say your class name is what? Classes dot, then you can put heading. So what happens now is if I come to my CSS, my other CSS, and target dot heading, and I go back, I still have, okay, hold on. We're not importing the module. Yes, so we have to import it here. And that's the error it's telling us that fail to resolve imports this because we're not importing it correctly. So we have to come back and import it correctly. And these are correct imports. So let's go and check again. Yes, we have white. But there's a difference now. If you check this class name, yeah, let me try and zoom in. Zoom in. Yes, it's too much. Yes. If you check this class name now, what we have here for our class name is what? Heading. We don't have any extra word to just heading. But what happens behind the scene is that we have to convert our class name and add these keys to us. So this particular hash, it's called a hash, a hash for that. This hash now makes sure that no matter any class name called heading, it's impossible to have this particular hash because this hash is peculiar or specific to a particular class name. So it's impossible, practically impossible, to have the same hash across your app. So you can only have one heading underscore VNQRA. So even though I open my footer and I put another heading, yeah, if I put this as pink, it doesn't reflect here because what? This style is only specific to what? The header. So long I'm doing this, it's only specific to the header. And personally, I like to use styles here. So you can use classes, you can use styles. You can use anything you want to use. So you can put your name here. But all you need to do is that you must put that same thing across your app. So styles also. Personally, these are I like to use. So anyone that is suitable for you, then you use. Some people use classes, some people use styles, but personally I like styles, so I use style. If you come and put Adama or you put Divine or you put Malik or anything here, it works the same. So long you're using this particular stuff here. So this is how you style your React app. There are two ways I explained, but what is more safer is to use the module.css. This enables your CSS stay in a particular file that is imported. So we have our name here, at least we are getting there. We've gotten this correctly. What we need to do again is this particular layout. So we need to import our images here. So like in your HTML, you have your image tag, then you come and do dash dash. It's quite different if you're doing React. Do you understand? So you're doing React now. You come here and do import. First off, we want to import our image. So we have to name the image what we're importing. So let's import GitHub first. Then we'll say from where are we importing it from. Then we'll have to navigate here. So do this, come to your assets, do this, then find GitHub. The only thing to do now is to come here and put GitHub. So mind you, I'm putting GitHub in a quote. You are putting it in what? A curly brace. Now, the beauty of JSX is you can actually run React app inside your JSX file. If you have, for instance, let's go back to our we have HTML file here. With HTML file now, I can come and do console.log here. Basically, it won't work. We all are aware that it won't work. If I render this, what happens is we see this particular console.log like this. Even though I put hello here, it doesn't come and show me hello in my console. It's impossible. What I will see in my browser is just this console.log hello. Do you understand? But for JSX, I can basically run React app or JavaScript code inside my HTML file or HTML tabs. All I need to do is just to put this particular curly brace. So anything that goes in here now is read by the browser's JavaScript code. So I can come and say, let's say I have an array, and I can say, let's just stick an array dot. As you can see, I'm getting JavaScript properties here. Basically, I'm getting JavaScript properties inside the HTML file. So that's the beauty of React. You can run JavaScript inside HTML file, and we'll see how this works basically. So this is like an indication here. I'm not using a quote, I'm using this particular curly brace. This curly brace enables us to run React code. So what it's doing now is just picking this and replacing it with this. So in this way now, your code is more readable. Rather than having dash dash everywhere, just do this. So let's replicate, let's put GitHub here. GitHub, and let's come back and import the rest. So we have about 4 of them here. So let's check. And we have front end. So I'm using shortcuts here. Just do Control D. You select the name that have the same name. So I can change it to front end. I can come here again and put Control D again. I'll change it to LinkedIn. I think, yes. I can come here and change it to Twitter. So I'm done importing. No, Twitter, I'm wrong. Twitter. I promise to share you guys shortcuts for this. I always forget. So I'll remind me after this class, so I'll share it to you guys. So we can come here again and do what? 1, 2, 3, 4. So just replace this. We have our front end. We also have our LinkedIn. We also have our what? Twitter. So let's check what we have now. Let's see, we have an error. Okay, I'm not importing this correctly. So let's check where the problem is. / LinkedIn. Capital letter I, okay. So we need capital letter I for that, and I put small letter I. That's why we have that error.
Sorry, I thought there's an extension you install for that.
For
That
what?
was supposed for the importation, for
Okay,
importing.
that
The
one works
auto
for,
import.
yeah, that one works for what's the name? For your folders, basically. It doesn't work for image. Because how it works now here is let's assume that you have to name this first before importing it. We're not importing it. So for instance, now let's go back to our home. If I remove this, if I come here and say header. What happens is that it already knows that there's a header component somewhere because we've already declared it. That's why it can easily import it for us. But for our image now, it doesn't know what's happening here. Do you understand? So you can't just come and do, let's say, GitHub. No, it won't work. Nothing will work because you've not declared GitHub anywhere. You've not exported GitHub anywhere. So you can't auto import it for you. Do you understand? So what you need to do first is to declare it here. And this is the declaration. Then you bind it to the particular image. Then use it here. So let's go and check again. Yes. We're in tune. So we have Adam keys and we have this. So what is left for us to do now is to arrange it. So as you can see, there's a particular space from here to here. And that space cut across all our app. So there are two ways to do this, but just to save time, you can actually have a container app, and that container app is responsible for giving this particular space, or that's what we will do eventually. So let's come back to our home. These are what they call best practices. Do you understand? Because now if you can see, everything here has like equal width or equal spacing around it. Especially this from this part to this part. So what we can do now is to have a container that houses at least our first four, and we'll leave this one out for the meantime because of different background colors. But let's do that for this and this. So now let's just come here and say, okay, our header, we need to put this in a div. Then we'll come here and do this. So let's go to our styling. Our styling for our header, I'll put it side by side. So let's see what we are doing. So now I'll come and target, let's clean this. I'll target our header and I'll say I want it to be display flex, align items, center, justify content, space between. That's how we can achieve this particular layout. So first off, we have to flex it. After flexing, it becomes a straight line. Then we have to put both of them in the center, and we have to separate them. So to separate them, we'll do the justify content space between. So let's go back and see. Yes, we have that in place. Let me close this. We have that in place. So all we need to do now is to make sure we have that width going on. So let's come back here and say for our header, we need a max width of 80 view width. So what this does basically, like I explained earlier, is that it gives, so on my pesticide now, this is my pesticide here. So you can see now, let's view this and so we are on 13,016. So I'll increase this to 20,000. Let's see, 21. Let me shrink this a little. If you note, the width does not change. Let's put this in the center. So let's do margin 0 to. So what this does is like center our width. So now we have this in the center. So if you check now, prior to this line of code, it was one-sided. It was to the left. As you can see, there was this space here. But once you add this line, then it brings it to the center. So now it's at the center. So regardless, if I move higher than this, it maintains the 80 view width. So it checks your browser and picks 80 view width from it. So even though I shrink it more like this now, the same thing is going to happen. It's still going to maintain that 80 view width. Do you understand? So this is very essential for responsive design. So instead of coming here and say, because some people will just put, what was the name? Some people usually put 1440 pixel. Yeah. So if you do like this now, what happens is, as you can see, you have this particular layout here. But once you shrink, there's an issue. Do you understand? The issue is that once it gets to this 140, it takes it all. If it's bigger than that, it's perfect. But once it gets smaller than that, then you have the issue. Do you understand? So this is where max width using the viewport width comes into play. So we have that in play. So let's target our H1 here. I'd rather us use H2 here. The reason is you can only have one H1 in your file on a single page. And the H1 must be like the heading itself, like the attraction of the page, which is supposed to be this particular, I am nice to meet you. This is also our H1. So for this, let's use H2. So we'll come and put H2 here. Let's do H2. Then our H2 will say, now this is where Figma comes in place. So I come here now and I click on this. If you note, I have like this predefined styles for us here. Very easy. You don't even need to start cramming like what we were doing before that we were saying it's 2 REM, okay, it's 3 REM, okay, it's 4 REM, okay. No. Now we've defined everything we need to define here. All we need to do is just to come here, pick it. Once you copy, let's copy. Should have copied by now. Copied, yes. Then let's come and paste it here. C'est fini. Let's remove this because we're not using the var. Let's do this. Perfect. You can also remove the font family. We don't need it because we already defined now this thing. To keep our code very simple. And if we go back and check, let's go back and check our code. It's perfect. Like as it is on the design, that's how it is here. That's the beauty of Figma. It gives you like the style accurately. And also, if you notice now, there's like space up to perfectly get the space. You can easily do this. You can see we have 2.44 REM. That's the space from the top to this particular. So you can come here and do either you can do padding or you can do margin. Let's use padding. So you can do padding top 2.44 REM. If you come and check, perfect. And this is the exact space that we have here. This is the beauty of Figma. Do you understand? So instead of guessing which is which and what is what, Figma gives you like an exact value for you to use. Do you understand? So done this, let's move to this particular. So if you click on this particular group here, group 12, let's see. We also have like a star for it. So let's go into it. We have 4 items here, and let me see if I can get. Let's click on one. It's difficult to click it. Let me put this off. And let me click on one again. Let's see. Yes, I can click on one now. So if I hold my alternate key and let's check what we have. I think we have 32, like 1.5 area. You can't see it, but that's what is there. So I'm checking the space between each element here. So all I need to do now is just to come to our class here and let's convert this to styles.icon. Icons. So what I just do, copy these icons, come here, then let's target. Oh shit. I'm writing SCSS. Yes. So let's do this. And for our icons, we'll do display flex, align items, center. Then we have a gap. Let's do a gap of let's say 1.5 area. So let's check what we have. Perfect. Let's make it 2 area. 32, yes, 32 divided by 16 is 2, yes. So we have 2 area. Perfect. So this is what we have here. So we've ultimately and easily gotten our header perfectly. Do you understand? And this is how React works. Let's give like a quick summary. We have our header component now. So anywhere we need to use this header component now, instead of writing this from code, we can just import it and this particular code comes into life. Yeah. And we're importing it in our home page. Our home is kind of our header. Now for the next part, we need our what's the name? Our hero section now. So what we just need to do now is to import our hero here. Or if the case may be, because of how the layout is, we can actually import our header inside our hero just to make this particular part fit. As you can see, there's like an overlay. The image is overlaying, and this one is on top. To make this particular design come to life, all these things must put into consideration. So let's go back to our stuff. Are there any questions so far? Before we move, are there any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, go on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Okay, please. I think I had issues when you were explaining the image part, how you got it. I didn't really get that part very well. And how we call the styling for the heading. I didn't get that part as well. That's just the only two things.
Okay, no issues then. I'll briefly explain it. So for our images here, if you want to use image in your React app, This is the ideal way to go about it. Do you understand? First off, your image is located in your assets folder. Do you understand? So if you're importing, what you do first is to just declare your import, then you put the name. So I'm guessing if Josephine asked this question, yeah? Am I correct? I didn't see my
Yes,
screen. Okay, yes,
yes.
Josephine. So I'll import Josephine and I'll say from. So this from where now is I'm telling browser, okay, come inside. So if I do full stop and slash, it comes one step above our header. So if you come to our header now, you can see this header folder is only header and header JSX and header CSS you have here. That's it, JSX and CSS. But we don't need it here. What we'll do again, we want to go another step folder. So to be double dots forward slash. So now we are in our layout folder, which is the header and the footer. But once we still go up again, so we'll do dot this. So now we have our assets component layout. Once we go to our assets, click on assets forward slash. So you have to go and find Josephine here. So once you see your Josephine, you click on it. Let's assume Josephine is the hero image. I'm just assuming now. I can come back here and just do Josephine and now do Josephine. If I go back and let's go back to our, you can see Josephine added. Do you understand? So this is the way to use your images. Exactly. So then for the
Yes,
styling,
very
yeah,
clear. Thank you.
for the
Thanks.
for the styling now, so there are two ways to style your CSS. You can do that without the module.css. So if you notice, I named my CSS .module.css. Yeah. What this module does is it enables CSS to run only for this file. So if at any point in time I have like another class name called heading, it doesn't conflict styles. It doesn't take the style for this particular header, then go and put it in the footer one. No. What it does that, and I explained to us that if I come here and I inspect, so let's inspect this. There's a class name called icons, which is this one. This is the class name for the icons. But if you notice here on the class name, you can see like a hash 18NSP underscore 37. So this particular hash added to the class name now is what enables that particular class to be solely for that icon. So even though you have another icon, and I'll illustrate that again, even though you have another icon elsewhere here, what happens? Let's say I open like a footer because this particular layout is what is still implemented for our footer. Yeah. So I can come and say, okay, I want this space to be called icons also. What happens is it doesn't take the icons from footer, nothing concerns it. It sticks with what is meant to be. Do you understand? So even though I come to our general, let's say our general CSS, anything you do here now affects the whole app. And I do dot icons, and I do this, and I say I want it to be flex column because it's row now. So I want it to be flex column, flex direction column. If I go back to my code now, as you can see, it doesn't change. But I'm targeting icon, and anything you put here, yeah, affects everywhere in your app. For the fact that I've already indicated that this particular module is only for header. So even though I have icon elsewhere, it doesn't affect it. Do you understand? That's why I'm using the icon, the module CSS. Do you understand? So that's where it comes in. And to use that, what you need to do is after indicating the module, you have to import it specially. So you also have the name here and what it's going to do. So this styles now is what exposes your class names to this particular CSS. So once you do styles dot, what happens is this heading now becomes the style you're using here, which is this particular heading. Do you understand? So styles dot heading, styles dot icons.
Which
So
heading? I didn't get that place. You said that heading, I didn't know where you got it from.
heading is a class name, so I can put Josephine here now.
Okay, it's a class. Okay, you are the one
Yes.
that okay, you named it. Okay, that's the
Yes,
name of the class. Okay.
I name it. So I can come here now and I put, let's copy this, Josephine, copy, and I'll come here and put where do we use heading? Let's see. H2 heading. So instead of the H2 now, I can put dot Josephine. And every star that I've indicated here now still remains the same, as you can see. But our class name here now was Josephine and some hash. This hash now is what makes this particular heading peculiar. Do you understand? So anything can come here. It doesn't mean need to be. You can put anything here. It's just your class name. Do you understand? I put icons there because all these things are icons. I'm putting icon here. Josephine,
I
so the
noticed
same.
that okay, before now, that was not Josephine. It was Edin that was there. The Edin was where before? Was it here? But I was seeing H2 before.
Yeah, I use H2. And so I can come back and do headings. It doesn't really matter. I'm targeting H2 and the H2 just coming here to pick H2. Do you understand? So I
Mm-hmm.
put this heading just to illustrate. You can you can well, in order to CSS, so you can start your class name with ID, with class name, or with the
Yes, and
tag.
also yeah,
I
I,
can
I understand you.
so basically I initially I used the tag H2, even though it had like a class name, which like there's no harm in it.
Okay,
So I can also come here and put heading. It works the same
okay.
way. I can come and put H2. It works the same way. Do you understand?
I understand what you did now. Thank you.
Okay, nice. So now we've gotten our header out of the way. So let's go to our next part, which is the hero. So for now, we've not really done anything tedious. I don't think there's anything tedious, but I know you guys are getting comfortable with React. Our next project, when we start dealing with fetching data from the backend, then that's when you see shading. So now let's do this. So we have this particular cycle here. We have nice to meet you. We have this particular text here. We have contact me, and we have this image. So let's implement this now. So what we need to do now, like I said, we need to have two boxes. This box will contain this particular text, and that box will contain this particular image and this. And mind you, we need to make it in such a way that our image spans up to cover this particular tag here. So these are like one of the spiciest or the spice of front-end development. You have to be innovative. You have to know what to use at a particular time and how to use it. And if you also notice too, this exclamation mark is cutting inside the image. Do you understand? So we have a lot to do and a lot to learn here. So let's kick off. Let's kick off. So now let's go to our hero section. Let's go to our hero section. Hero components, our hero. So we'll do the same thing. We have our hero.gsx. We also have our hero.
Sorry, I thought that in this case, say it's better to combine the header with the hero because they kind of match together. So it's
Oh, no,
better we do it.
we'll get to that. So we can't put
Okay.
it here in our header. So we have to still
Okay.
um
Separate.
separate it. But what will happen now is that we might import our header here. But let's just see what happens. Let's code and see first. So we have this, and like I said, you can remove this optional. If you want, you can leave it. If you like, remove. But there's no harm in it. So now let's keep this and let's name it our section. And this is for accessibility sake. This is section hero. And we have two boxes basically. The first box, let's name it hero content. Then second box, we can just leave it, let's say hero image. Let's just do our hero image. Basically. So we've done this. What we need to do now is we have H1 here. We have this particular nice to meet you Adan keys. And this key have like this particular underline thing going on here. So we have to achieve this also. So let's cook. So now we have our H1. Our H1. Let's just copy this text. Nice to meet you. And let's also copy this one. I am Adam Keys. So let's come and see I am Adam Keys. Let's fix this. So we've got now H1. So let's go to our paragraph. Let's copy this, everything entire. Copy, let's paste. And we have our button also. Now our button, Now, if we note, the button here has like is a reusable component because we have button, the same button here. We also have the same button here. We also have the same button here, but different text. Now, this is another aspect of React, and I want you guys to listen and listen carefully and understand this part. So this is where React comes in and what they call a reusable component. So as you can see now, the text here is what send message, and the text here is contact me. So we have the same button, but the only difference is just this text. But in a very large application, we can't start creating two different buttons because of just the text. Do you understand? Now, let's do this. I want you guys to listen very, very attentively because this particular thing I'm about to show you is one of like the perks of React, and you will likely use it every time, not even sometimes, every time. So let's come to our layout and let's do our button. So we have a button folder here. Let's do button. And for that button folder, let's come and open our file, button.jsx. And we also have what? Button.css. No, correct me. I'm making a mistake here. What am I supposed to do? Somebody help me.
Button
Yes, thank you.
Module.css.
Why are we using module?
So that the styling can be, so that the styling will not affect that of other components.
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's keep our styling. Let's keep our style here. And this is how I code normally. I keep my JSX here. I keep my style here. So let's collapse this. Now, no, let's collapse this. Control B, collapse. So now let's do our REFCE. We have our components, our React components. So now for this particular button, yeah, let's analyze this. We have a text basically and just a style, but the style is the same across all board. The only difference now is the text. But we can't just come and say contact us, because what happens now is, and you should already contact us here. Let's change this to a button. And let's go to our hero and let me just import, instead of doing this one, I just import button. If I import button and check our app, I need to change this to white because everything is dark. Okay, no. Something's happening. Who can tell me why? Something's happening. We're not seeing our app here. Why?
We've not exported it.
Thank you. No, I'm exporting it here.
Okay.
I'm exporting it here. But
You have not imported it.
yes, thank you. I've not imported it. So I need to go to our home, come under here and do hero. Then let's go back to our feed. So if you come back here, yes, we have our contact us, we have our text here. So now we have our contact us, but in a situation where this contact us is send message, it's practically impossible to change it here. Because I mean we can't say button, then now do another close. Now it doesn't work that way. We can't even do like this and come and do send message. It doesn't work like this. Let's put send message here. It doesn't work like this because you've violated the rule. Because if you note now, this is a capital letter compared to what we have before, small letter. Now the difference is if you are doing this, it means that this is a component. But if you are doing this, it means like a HTML element or HTML tag. That's the difference between the small letter and the capital letter. Do you understand? So you're doing a capital letter button. It means that this particular button is a component. So if I come back here now and see, you see that it's not showing the send message because I mean it doesn't make sense to do it like that. So what we can do now, and this is essential, I'll go by it twice. Somebody mic is please mute your mic, please. Come on, all of you are unmuted. Yes. So as I was saying here, now for us to make a component reusable, we need to make it adapt to different situations. You need to make that component very flexible, and that's what we're going to do with the button now. And Like I said, this is like one of the most important aspect of React, how to make a component reusable. It took me a while to learn this, but thank God I did. So now we have a button, and that button has a text, but that text is dynamic. It's not like static, because we can have send message, we can have come here, we can have go there. So all we need to do now is just to put text here, text. So we've put text here now, and we're saying, okay, this particular button is expecting a text, but the only entrance into this particular file is this thing you are seeing here. Okay, let me say the only, but this is like one of the entrance, or one way that outside entities can enter this app. Do you understand? So once we start doing once we start fetching data, I'll show you guys other things. But for now, let's just take it like this now. So we have a text, and this text now, we don't know what the text is going to be. The text could be Josephine is fine, Adama is beautiful, or anything. It can be anything, but we don't know what it's going to be. Like how we did our what's the name? You guys remind me the things we put inside our brackets for functions. You guys
Arguments.
remind me. Yes, argument. Thank you.
Arguments or
Thank you very much.
parameters.
Yes. So basically now we need to have like argument, and those argument needs to fill in this particular text. So you can come here and do what we've always been doing. Come here and put text. So what happens now is you are saying, okay, we have text too, and props, right? Okay, let's just disable this for now because it deals with like indicating props, and it's like more advanced stuff. We'll talk about it later, sure. But now I say, okay, this button, we're expecting a text. We don't know what the text is going to be, but a text must come. So now we've passed a props. This is where props comes in. Props as in property. Yeah. So expecting an argument, you can also call it props, which is like what is being called in React. It's called props. So this props now, you have a text. Another text, we don't know what it is, but it's coming. And so I can have as many properties as I like. I can put color, I can put width, I can put as many props as I like here. So what this props does now is more or less like a window or a door outside this particular component. So it's a way other components or the component that is in this can access or contribute inside. Do you understand? And I would explain to us now. So we have our button. Let's go back to our EU now. So now if I come here and I press Control Space, I have the text props. This text props now. Let's now put Josephine button. And let's go back to our app and see. As you can see, we have Josephine button here. If we change our mind and say, okay, we want to have two buttons now, and the second button, we want to put it Josephine button again. We want to put it Sasu. So let's use Sasu button. If you check now, we have another button called Sasu button. I can come here and say, oh, this particular button now, I want it to be Adama. So what I've done is now I've created a component and I've made it reusable, and it's flexible to what? To fit in conditions. Because one, the text, as we can see, we have contact me here, and we also have what? Recent message. But they are of the same style, like the same format, everything is the same. The only difference here is the text. So let's assume now that this color here is what? Pink or orange. What we just need to do now is to what? Come here and say, okay, there's our button. Come here and say, we have a pink factor. Let's put pink here. And let's say, okay, if pink is true, the button, the underlying color should be pink, else it should be blue. This is how you can interact. So I can come back to my button now. Let's go to our button. And I'll pass in the pink function. So I'll put pink here and I'll say true. And I'll illustrate it to you guys now. So pink is true here. And let's put here pink to be false. Pink, let's put false here. So I can come to my button and say, for this particular text now, if now I'm putting the curly brace again, like I said, curly brace enables you to write JavaScript. I can put pink now and say, if pink is true, I can put and. We've talked about this before. All I need you to do for me is to what? Indicate pink color. Now I've used pink as a factor. So we have 3 buttons here now. We have Josephine and pink is true. We have Sasu and pink is false. And we have Adama. It doesn't have any pink. So pink is either true or false here. So let's go to our okay. Now let's just ask ourselves. If you go back to our code, now what do you expect to see?
The
If
test
you go back to our
for
code,
Josephine is
Josephine button will be
yes.
pink.
Okay. Thank you. So let's go back now. You can see that Josephine button has the pink color. Sasu button does not have any. Adama button does not have any. What we've done here now is to what? We've introduced the props here. And this particular props or property makes it possible for us to interact with the button from the hero section. Because there's no way for us to change this from here. Because we can't say, oh, we want the button to be Sasu button, then we'll come and put it Sasu here. No, it's not possible. But what we've done here now is with the help of this text like a window. So, oh, my neighbor, you cook rice. Yes, I cook rice. So, oh yeah, and you know that you cannot go outside your house. You just know you can't go outside your house. So you put your hand outside the window and collect the rice from your neighbor and bring it inside your house. That's happening here now. So this text is you going outside your own window. You understand? So this is your house ordinarily, which is the button. But you've made it possible that you have 2 children, text and pink. Your first child now is hungry for rice, which is the text now. You come and say, oh, hero, do you have any text for me? You say, yes, take this text. Yeah, I collect it. Pink is also a child. Pink, make me true. If I'm true, do this. Do you understand? So your props here, which are this argument, as we actually said in JavaScript, when we are called properties, are what we use to interact or send data from inside to outside or from outside to inside. And there are cases where this needs to be reversed. We'll come to that, but I don't also take it slow. We'll come to that. There are cases where you are the one that will determine what will happen here. You know, now is what is here that determines what will happen here. As you can see, is what anything that's in the hero now that appears to be in the button. There are cases where it's the property here that will determine what will happen here. Do you understand? But let's take it slowly. Any questions regards this? This is not it's not easy to grasp at once. I promise you.
Yes, I have a question.
It took me
That
time. So it's okay if you don't get it at once. I'll try and explain it again. What's your questions first?
that if you notice when you wrote the variable in the button pink, go back to that
Yes.
button please. Pink
Mhm.
button. You put pink there. But on line 5, you now said pink and pink color. I'm trying to understand. This is like a statement. If these
Yes.
2 things are true, as if
Yes.
this is there and this is there, and this
No,
pink
no,
is a
no.
variable, right?
Now we're taking only pink into consideration. Do you know why? Because this is inside a separate curly brace, and this is also inside a separate curly brace. So what happens here is this one does not have anything to do with this one.
Okay.
This one is independent. This one is independent. I can come here and put another curly brace and put 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1. So anything that happens here does not concern anything that happens here. Does not concern anything that happens here. So what I'm just saying is that, okay, after you render our text, which is the Josephine or Sasu, what you do now is to check if pink is true. If it's true, put pink color. If it's not true, don't do anything. That's what's happening here. Do you understand?
You put pink color. Okay, that's what you meant.
Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Yes,
Any
please.
questions?
I have a question, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Go on.
So I wanted to ask this button.jsx file, is it in the
Yes.
components folder?
It's in our layout folder.
Okay, so but we are dealing with components, so why is it in the layout folder if it's a component? You say it's a user component that we're trying to create.
Yes. Like I mentioned there, and I said this is subjective. How you place or how you dictate what happens in your file is left to you. But personally, here, I love to put like the button, the header, like the footer inside the layout. Why? Because they contribute to how the they contribute to the layout of of your website. So a button is like a layout component. Your header is also a layout component. Your footer is also a layout component. Now, for this particular section, I'll tell you for this particular section now we have, if you notice, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items, and all of them are identical. We have one heading and a paragraph, one heading and a paragraph, one heading and a paragraph. So instead of us putting HTML, CSS, there's a way we can do this and make it into a component. I'll illustrate it to us. But why I'm putting the button inside the layout is because personally, yeah, as I said, there's no crime if you put your button here, there's no crime. Nothing going to happen. I can as well move it here. It will work the same way. But in larger organizations, once somebody see the layout component, there are certain things they are expected to see inside, and these are like one of them. Do you understand? And this is like a personal stuff because you might meet other developers and they tell you that you can put your buttons in your components. It work well. There's no harm in it. You can also put everything here yourself inside your component and nothing will happen. But this is how I personally choose to do my things. And because I'm the one teaching you, and I always say, once you go out to find what is most comfortable for you, do you understand? So it's not a must you follow my method. Just find what's most comfortable for you. Like I said also, if you are styling, some people use class here instead of what is it? Instead of what's the name? Hold on. Let's go to the file. Our hero. Yes. So instead of styles here, some people use class or classes. Do you understand? So anywhere is most comfortable for you, that's what you do. But personally, I just prefer to put my button in my layout. That's how I'm doing that. Any more questions?
Yeah, so I have a question here.
Yes, go on.
Yeah, but I would like just to zoom a little bit like your screen because I'm not seeing what you are typing there.
Okay, is it better now?
Is it better? Yeah, it's better. And another question, like I would like to know how many hours this lecture should take now.
I'm done, Seth, because I'm supposed to spend 1 hour 30 minutes, and this is 6:40 something. But as you can see, we've not gone far. So tomorrow would likely continue from where we stop now. And tomorrow is Thursday, yeah. So we have this lecture Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you guys are free on Sunday, I can volunteer to teach you guys on Sunday. But I don't think Mr. Shea he made Sunday free for everybody. But if you guys are willing to learn, I can talk to him to fix a class for Sunday. Then we'll come back and convey. Because I need us to finish everything before next week. Do you understand? So this is like just the elementary part to make you guys comfortable how things work. But if we finish this particular project, I'm sure you guys should have like the basic knowledge of how to use React. Then what is left for us now is to interact with APIs and use states, those kind of stuff. Do you understand?
Yes,
Sorry,
we
I have one
understand,
more
but
question.
Yes, ask your question.
Yeah, so you said I don't know if you said or I heard wrongly that you were going to send us this Figma file.
Yes,
That
I
was
said
going
that.
to get.
Let me do that now before I forget.
But can we
Copy.
also will be able to access like each of the SVGs and the things like the way you did, or we
Yes,
need a beta account to do that?
if I send you this file now, yeah, this is what you see. Like this is what you see here. So you can this is the layout you see basically. So you can access everything. But be careful not to move anything around. Because if you move everything around, then you
Okay.
spoil the stuff. But I'll send you. But it does not affect me if you move everything around though. Or will it affect me? I don't think it would. I don't think it would. So let me just send it to you guys on Figma. Let me see, is my Slack open? Let me check if my Slack is open. My Slack is not open. Let me open my Slack. Don't mind my wallpaper. So let's go to front end and let's paste the Figma file here. So this is the Figma file, and you guys can enjoy yourself with it. So what will happen now is because I have to go, I noticed somebody asked how long is this class, meaning they're getting bored. So once we
Abdul, please, I have a question.
let's go on, ask a question.
I don't know. Can you please plead on our behalf to Mr. Shea? You guys should upload the picture. I said
The
picture.
picture.
Oh,
The
sorry. That's your
profile picture, which
video
picture?
posting.
Okay, no issues, no issues. I'll ask him. I'll put it on your behalf. Miss
Please.
MK, no issues, no issues. I'll put it on your behalf. MK,
Yes. I'm the one talking.
I'm talking. Sorry. I saw your hand up, so I don't know.
When you said you
Um,
want to end the class, that's why I could cuckoo commit
you
myself.
you kuku. No issues. I'll kuku tell him to put up the class as soon as possible. So any questions as regards what we've done so far? At least, or
Please,
something
I
you
have
have.
next question. Can I ask how many classes this React? How many classes this
I can't say for
now?
sure, yeah. I can't say for sure,
No,
but the
no,
plan is
no,
to take
from the
it down.
beginning of the React till
And
now.
I don't know. This is my second class with you guys. I think Maoga taught two classes. I think I'm not sure. Maybe ask your classmates. But I think he had two classes with you guys. And on the side note here, Mr. Toby also taught me 2 years ago. So technically, I'm a student also. So yes. Uh, that's by the way, Sha. That's by the way. Any more questions as regards what we've done so far? Anything you don't understand, let me know. Is Divine here? Divine is missing class anyhow these days, so I don't know why. Sounds is not here.
So I want to just ask for something. If you can just help us. I know you explained yesterday and today again, but just maybe just this file structure again, just help us understand. Maybe
Okay,
very quickly,
okay,
just run through.
okay, okay. So basically, there are different file and folder architecture. Yeah, that's what they call the atomic folder architecture. It's the MVC. There are different types. Yeah, and it depends on the organization you work with. I showed you guys a folder structure yesterday for a company I'm working with, how they arrange their folders, what goes where, and what does what. Like this thing. So, like now, for instance, now we can have a helper folder here. So let's put helper. We can also come here and say, okay, we have a utility folder, utility utils. We can also come and put we have hooks here. So if a developer comes on and see your folder structures, there are things he expects to see here. So for your hooks now, they are like what they call custom hooks in React. So we'll get to that basically. So custom hooks are like piece of code that does something, yeah. And if you want to achieve a particular aim, and you know this aim, you're going to use it over and over again, you can create a custom hook for that, and you just keep using it all over your app. Yeah. For utils are like utility files. Like maybe if you want to convert your currency from naira to dollar, you want to convert your time from like the different time formats. You can have a utility folder for that. You can also have a help folder. Maybe this help folder now basically stores item in local storage. Do you understand? So how you arrange your folders basically depends on you and the company you're working with. But there are basic things that should be there. So first off, you should have an assets folder. Assets folder is where your images goes, your videos, your SVGs, whatever you can think of that deals with like representation of your website, it goes in your assets folder. So you can also have here, you can come and put images. You can come and put videos. So instead of like putting the videos and the everything inside, if you have videos as it, you can come and put audios. Come and put audio.
That is generally your media files.
Yes, thank you very much. That's the word media file. So if you have audio, you put it here. You have images, you put it. If you have videos, you put it here. And that's what the assets folder is all about. So if I'm coming to your website, your repository for the first time, and I see assets, I'm expected to see media files there. So I can't come and be seeing card components or it's weird. Do you understand? Now for component basically, yeah, or how I explain it are like blocks or sections in your code. So for instance, now if you look at this design, we have uh according to how I broke it down here, we have one, which is the hero, or we have the header, we have the hero, we have this particular place that displays the skills, we have the project, we also have what the contact, and we have this particular um thing going on down here. Do you understand? So I divided into four: contacts, projects, skills, and hero. So if you come to your component now, you can see contact, hero, project, and skills. You can as well choose, okay, oh, I want to put everything in only one file. There's no harm in it. But there are standard ways to do things, and that's why we have React. So you can easily split your code into pieces, yeah, and do certain things. Also, like I said, we have like this particular card here. Let's take a look at this now. This card is the same across boards. You have an image, you have a heading, then you have this particular skill here. So instead of coming to your website and having this thing 6 times, you can have just one card, make it reusable like we do to our button. Then all you need to do is just to pass the image, pass the portfolio or the heading, and pass this particular text to it, and you are free to go. So instead of doing this, you can also make this a component. So this card is a component. The button also can be a component. Do you understand? So this is where your component folder comes in. All these cards and stuff you can do. I'll illustrate it in our next class. Because that will be faster since we have like understanding about things, how artists work now. That will be very, very fast. So it goes in your components and your page now basically. So for instance, you have like a website that has like 7 page or 8 pages here. You can as well have like a page folder. And that page folder have you like let's say you have your home here, you can have your contacts, your about, your blog, and everything like under your navigation. Yeah, you can have a page for everything. And you can as well outline them like this. So for your home now, you're going to combine all the components that makes up your home in your home folder. For your let's say for your about, you combine all the component that makes your about in your about and you list them out. Once you are done, you have to inject them inside this place. Do you understand? So that's that about that. Any more question? Or if you don't understand, I can go over it again. Any more questions?
Thank you, sir.
No issues. So I have to go now, yeah. And tomorrow, let's I'll try. I don't know why. I'll try and make it 4:30, so we have enough time. So from 4:30 to like 7 should be enough time for us to like treat all this. It's not plenty. It's like very simple. These are the hardest. These are the hardest parts, basically. These are the hardest parts. The hero. After we are done with that, then the rest should be very, very easy for us. Then after that, then we'll do like a more proper, or we'll go deeper into React, and we'll treat items like states, how to fetch item from the backend, how to display stuff, things like that. But let's try and finish up this tomorrow, by God's grace. In the absence of no questions, you still have one final question. Anybody? Final question. Anybody? Nobody.
Just
So with that, in the absence of no questions, I'll basically stop the class. Have a nice day, you guys, and good night.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying to the end.
Please,
Odiba.
uh,
Odiba.
Coach,
2
Yes,
years
yes, yes.
ago.
hello,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, please, are there resources that somebody can just read before coming to class that are easy to comprehend? You know, there are so many tutorials. Sometimes I don't even know where to start from. Like something easy that you know that this one is beginner friendly that you can recommend for this React.
So how it works here? You can
The
start.
React is not an easy one, sir.
You can start with the docs. So like I said, yeah, like if you come here to React, they have like a documentation.
Okay.
So they go, as you can see, you have the folder structure, you have like everything you need to have here. So this is like a let me like I said, there's a subsidized.
Are you
Let me
still
see.
sharing your screen or is
Oh, I'm not sure. Let me quickly
it's
do that.
okay?
Let me quickly do that. That's correct. And now why is it to stay class after class? So you can come to, let's just type beta react. I think there's like a documentation for beta react. Yes, beta react docs. So this is like a react documentation, but subsidized. Let me find it. Like it's very where the dev is it the same one? Let me see. Let's check this one. There's one that has like very, very nice documentation. So you can easily read it and you can see them like displaying the code. So you can like code along because if they explain a concept, then they show the code you need to understand. I'll find it. I'm not sure, but you can also use this basically to understand. But you have to be like a very nice reader. So this is what I'm trying to say now. This is your app for that structure. There's
I'll
like
read everything.
now you want to learn now. Now you go read now. So, but this particular, I'm trying to find out. Okay, I'll find it for you here, and I'll paste it in the That one is more entertaining. And it's
Please,
very like
I beg, please, people, I'm tired.
please, sir, are you with me, sir?
I'm not with you.
Please, sir, are you
I'm
with me, sir?
not with you. But go on,
Uh,
go on, go on.
please for this better app, sir.
Yes,
Is it that there are some projects there that you can like look
project.
at
Yes, I
after
think
like reading through those?
there's small projects there. If you code along with them, then there's like a project
Okay.
they did at the back.
Please, we should suspend all that thing. Somebody should not come and be seeing plenty duration of video and be scared to watch video later, I beg.
It's
Let's
true.
leave the rest